pressure. She's sacking. A great bull rush by Chris Jones.
When it gets tough, you know, he's going to be there battle. Players appreciate it.
The Chiefs put the hammer down with the 34-yard touchdown pass. The 10 still not down. Oh, what a run out of this world. They're falling up to 20, 10, 5, touchdown.
All right. So L'Jarius Sneed, as far as injuries go, he had the concussion, and then Kadarius Toney's ankle, he tweaked that. Juju Schuster, that knee acted up on him from the week, and then McCole Hardman gave it his best, and as did all these guys. I mean, tribute to the work ethic. Pat out there doing his thing. Kelsey, who missed the last day of practice, you know, all that stuff. So I'm proud of them for everything they've done. Great for the city. Our fans were unbelievable. Bucker, I mean, what a redemption story. He comes back and after a high ankle sprain has kind of moved his season a different direction than he wanted for a period there, and he came back and just knocked it out. Sky Moore, who had the drops early, was called on to go out there and return, and he did a great job with what ended up sealing MVS. Had a nice day, as did all the receivers. We only had 3 of them, so by the end, so they all did nice. Our young secondary, 2 of them got interceptions, and 6 helped cause the interception for 23. So, I mean, it was a great deal. Chris Jones had an unbelievable game along with Frank Clark. I mean, constantly in the backfield and just busted their tail. I mean, what a performance they had. So, and I mean, I could keep going. I'm sure I'm missing people here, but I'm proud of all of them, man. They did a great job. So, anyways, with that, time's yours.
You didn't mention Patrick Mahomes there. His gritty performance coming off a week from the high ankle sprain. How impressive was his performance to you?
I think I did. You just didn't hear me. I mean, we can't replay it, right? Like the commercial. Can't do that. Herbie, doggone it. Yeah, so, but listen, it was pure grit. He and Kels. But for Pat to do what he did and then to have that run at the end, I mean, I can't say enough. He is the MVP in my eyes.
Andy, a lot of conversation from Cincinnati this week. Do you feel that with something under your guys? Not that they would need something for an AFC Championship, but do you think that added something?
Yeah, listen, our guys did a great job of not going that direction. Their mayor said it all, and so I'm glad our mayor just did what he did, and some people heard it.
Andy, you alluded to this a little bit, but there was one sequence where Patrick looked like he aggravated the ankle, but McCole got hurt. Juju had just come off. You guys turned that into a touchdown drive. Is that a little bit of a inflection point in the game for you to have to show that grit then?
Yeah, I would say yes. I mean, first of all, that's a great football team, and they've done a heck of a job there turning that thing around. That quarterback is a heck of a player. So, but for our guys to grit up like that, it was beautiful thing to do, and do it at home.
Was there a point where you knew this week that not only was Pat going to play, but he was going to play well as well?
Well, he gave me no opportunity to not think that he wasn't going to play. I mean, he never missed a snap, and our players, our team, coaches, we're all lucky to have him in that position, and the mindset, that whole mindset. So it carries over to everybody. And there was no denying that he was. I mean, there's no question he was going to play. So.
Was there a moment where you maybe put him on the practice field that led you to believe he was going to be okay tonight? Not just play.
Yeah, well, I mean, he went out and practiced. Yeah, so I mean, he pushed off of that thing, and he did all the stuff, and he lived in the training room. Rick Burkholder and Julie, I mean, the job that they did with him of getting him ready and him spending all the time, I'm sure he went home and his wife was probably working on it too. So, I mean, it was everybody taking concern for him.
You mentioned some of the redemption with Harrison, with Sky. What's it mean for you as a coach to see some guys that have gone through struggles this season or a game wherever they be to see them?
Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, the perseverance, I mean, that's important in this game. The toughness, mental toughness is such a big part of this game. And to get to this level here, I mean, this is pretty spectacular to be able to go back, and quite an honor. And the Hunts give us an opportunity to do that, which is so important. And give the coaches an opportunity, give Mark and Veach an opportunity, myself. So, and all the players, they put us in a position where we can go succeed, and that's and all the guys did a great job. Brett with the guys that played tonight. I mean, what a tribute to him and his staff for all the great things that they've done with these players, young guys. I mean, who would have thought this at the beginning of the year, right? I mean, I'm sure you all wrote about it somewhere along the line that we had a lot of new faces, and for everybody to come together like that, that's satisfying as a coach.
Coach,
1, 2, 3, 4.
Coach, knowing you're just going to want to focus on the game the next 2 weeks, but this is pretty special getting to play the old franchise. What does that mean to you as you look back at your time there as well?
Yeah, I had a great time there. So 14 years, a long time, huh? And I'm happy for them. I'm happy for the city. They're passionate. They love football. I mean, I can't wait till Kansas City and Philly clash. It's gonna be awesome, man. I mean, what a great Super Bowl it'll be.
Coach, every team is different. Every year is different. How do your emotions compare this year going into the Super Bowl compared to other periods?
Yeah, I mean, being out there was unbelievable. There's nothing like winning the championship at home. I mean, that's just a special feeling. And not that the Super Bowl is not. I don't want to say that. That's a pretty good feeling too. But to be at home and do it, it's unbelievable. So I'm riding a wave right now, as you guys are, and I'll calm down after I leave here.
Coach, you guys struggled to try to get to Burrow the last couple of games. What was working so well for you guys early to be able to get to him?
Yeah, so I mentioned this to Dan after the game, and what the players were talking about the game plan, the defensive players, and how they loved it, and they just thought it was going to work and just they couldn't wait to get out there. And I mean, I kept hearing that over and over. And that listen, Spags did a heck of a job with it. I mean, phenomenal job with it, and his coaches and the players executed it. I mean, it was fun to watch. I have a bird's eye view of it, and they were rolling. Yeah.
Last one by.
Andy, just obviously a lot of subplots to the Eagles, but I wonder what you make of the Kelsey versus Kelsey.
No, but I've vested time in both those two, so I feel like I'm part of the family.
Thank you.
Many heroes in this AFC Championship victory, but here's a big one here. Marquez Valdes-Scantling, 116 yards receiving in this game. What about the fact that you had to step up because we were losing dudes like crazy?
Yeah, man, we Trav went down earlier in the week. Pat was dealing with the ankle. We lost a couple wideouts. We lost 3 wideouts in this game. So it was just left us with 3 guys, and we had to make some plays. And, everybody stepped up, and I think that was the biggest part, that we were all prepared and ready, to go out when our number was called.
How much did that change for you mentally, you personally, to go, okay, I've been in this league a while, but I've got to take this to a place I've never even been before?
Yeah, obviously you never want to see guys go down. Obviously KC went down early. Cole and Juju went down a little bit later in the game. And obviously you got Sky, who's his first time in the playoffs, and Kemp, who's a veteran, and he's well prepared. So we were able to make it all work out. It wasn't even about me. I just wanted to do anything I could to help this team win.
What an incredible postseason run you personally have. Talk us to the touchdown and little back on the rear end on it.
Yeah, actually I wasn't even the primary read. I was like the last read on the play. And I seen that it was basically zero coverage with me in the corner. No one was in the middle of the field, so I knew if I got to a spot where Pat could find me, he would find me, and he did just that.
And what people don't realize, because it doesn't show up in the stat sheet, you get the big penalty on Eli Apple. That's the hold. That's an automatic first down. What about that play?
Yeah, I was just whooping him all game, and that was just another play where he couldn't cover me well enough, and got the flag, and we moved it up.
Okay. What about this team now? Now you're going to play for a Super Bowl. Yeah. You get this chance, brother. You are in it. What about going to go get this thing?
That's what we work our whole life for, man. And, I'm so excited for this team. Get to go out to AZ, and we played our first game this season, and, hopefully get the last one to be the best one.
You made a big decision in the offseason to come here. You could have gone different places. You came here. What does that feel like right now?
I made the right decision, huh? This is what I came for, this moment right here, to be competing for a Super Bowl. And, it worked out perfectly. Couldn't ask for a better situation, asked for a better team, better coach, better quarterback. So I'm grateful to be here.
One of the greatest postseason performances by a wide receiver in the 63-year history of this franchise. MVS, everybody. Marquez Valdes-Scantling.
All right, I'll start with congratulations to Andy, our coaching staff, the players on a tremendous performance tonight. Obviously, one of the storylines of this evening was the adversity that we overcame. In the course of any season, you're always going to face adversity, and I really feel like during this past week, we almost faced a season's worth of adversity, starting with Patrick's ankle injury last week and Travis's back tightening up on him on Friday, and then, of course, all the injuries tonight, particularly at the receiver position. But Andy and the guys did a tremendous job, and were able to overcome it and get it done. I also want to mention the fans tonight. They were incredible. I had multiple people mention to me what a great atmosphere this was, how loud it was, the energy level. Of course, that's always true of any game here at GEHA Field at Arrowhead, but I thought it was particularly true tonight, and getting to celebrate winning the Lamar Hunt Trophy with our fans is very, very special for our family and the entire organization. With that, I'll open it up.
Our third time going back to the Super Bowl in the past 4 seasons. I mean, as an order, does it get any better than this?
I don't know that it gets better, but we do know not to take it for granted. One of the things about going 50 years between Super Bowls is it teaches you how much to appreciate it. Certainly over the last 5 years, we've been blessed to be in 5 straight AFC Championship games, all here at home. And the 3 Super Bowls that you mentioned, it's special, but we're not going to take it for granted. And, hopefully we'll get out there and try to claim another Lombardi.
Carl, given that you traded Tyreek Hill back this spring and you had a bunch of young guys playing for you on defense, what were your expectations for this season, say, over the summer?
Well, internally, we had high expectations, understanding the challenge of playing with a bunch of young players. If you listen to much of the national media, you would have thought that we had no chance. I remember, Andy commenting in response to a question that, we're not going to be too bad ourselves because people were talking about the other teams in the AFC West. Obviously, really the credit goes to Andy and the coaching staff for getting those young players ready to play. And, of course, tonight we had numerous young players step up, some who haven't played very much over the course of the season. They had an opportunity tonight, and they really shined.
Just having seen Patrick as much as you have over these last few years, does this game stand on its own in some way for what he had to do that? And I wonder also what you thought of the run that kind of, in the crucible there was pretty critical.
Yeah, Andy and I were talking about Patrick earlier in the week, and I mentioned to him that the great ones always find a way to get it done, particularly when they're facing adversity. And Patrick certainly showed that tonight. Tremendous performance all the way around. Clearly his ankle didn't feel very good in the fourth quarter, and the game couldn't have had a better finishing sequence than having Patrick, make that run, get the penalty, put us in field goal position that ultimately led to the win. Watching the play, I was like, well, Superman put his cape on and got it done for us. And, just tremendous performance all the way around by Patrick.
Clark, this game almost was played in Atlanta, and there's been a lot of conversation about perhaps the NFL will take the conference championships to neutral sites. I know you got to be a little biased about it, but that being said, what are your thoughts on that possibility?
Yeah, well, we were certainly ready to play the game at a neutral site if that's the way it turned out. We understood the unusual sequence at the end of the season in terms of the Buffalo-Cincy game not being able to be completed. I think Andy said it best that, we'd be happy to play the game in a McDonald's parking lot, and that was true. Andy's teams are just as good on the road typically as they are at home. So it wasn't something that we shied away from. On the other hand, we were very excited to get to play in front of our great fans. One of the things that I've learned over the last 5 years is how special these championship games are when you get to play them at home and you get to celebrate with your fans. And I know that my dad was a proponent at times of taking the AFC and NFC championship games to neutral sites. But I think based on our experience, I think it's best to give the team that earns that right the chance to play the game at home.
All right, thank you, Clark.
An excited Clark Hunt, and why not? The Lamar Hunt Trophy's coming back to where it belongs here at GEHA Field at Arrowhead Stadium with a 23-20 victory over the Cincinnati Bengals. Mitch Holthus now with you, along with senior team reporter Matt McMullen. Let's start there, and the immense amount of pride that Clark and the entire Hunt family has 3 times in 4 seasons. After never winning it, the Lamar Hunt Trophy is right here.
Think about how amazing that is. 3 times in 4 seasons, the Lamar Hunt Trophy comes home to Kansas City. And this one might be the sweetest because you think about last year, we were right there, right? Playing the same Cincinnati Bengals team. We had the lead on them here at home. We couldn't finish it. Well, most teams would wilt after that, right? They'd have a bad season. The Chiefs said, no, we're going to use that as fuel to get back to this moment. And facing the Bengals, once again, they come out on top. The Lamar Hunt Trophy is back home.
A long season. It's been a tough season, but a season of resiliency. So let's look at 2 people at the end of this game. Sky Moore. Muff 3 punch this year. Everybody was like all over Sky Moore, the Indianapolis game. And Sky Moore makes the play maybe of the game on a 24-yard punt return to give the Chiefs a shot at the end.
This is why football is the greatest game in the world. Sky Moore can have those issues earlier in the season. People don't want him doing that anymore, right? Well, he's the only guy at this point that can do it because the Chiefs had so many injuries. He goes back there for the biggest punt return of the season. And he doesn't blink. He returns at 29 yards, gets the Chiefs knocking on the door for field goal range. Amazing stuff from Sky. I am so happy for him. That's why Coach Tobe stuck with him all along. He saw something in him, right? And he came through in the biggest of moments.
I'm going to get to the guys that showed the guts throughout this week, and Patrick Mahomes will be at the top of that list, but let's wait on that, because let's go right to Harrison Butker. A one-legged 54-yard field goal in Week 1 in Glendale, Arizona, but then some tough stretches. Injured throughout much of the season, and the fans got on him. He missed field goals and missed PATs. And then to kick a 45-yard field goal into a win with a ball hung up there for like 2 minutes. And then barely goes over the cross. For Harrison Butker to make that kick and to show his resiliency, what does that say?
Being a kicker is one of the hardest things in all of sports because the spotlight is so routinely on you, but you don't have a lot of chances to go out and show what you can do and get back on track. We've been so fortunate to have Harrison for so many years now, and he's automatic, right? Well, he went through a spell this year where he wasn't automatic for a bit, but Coach Tobe stuck with him. Chiefs Kingdom stuck with him. And again, in the biggest of moments, the biggest kick of the season, no problem, he was nails. Everyone knew he was going to make that kick. It soared through there. You're right, it did hang up there for like 30 minutes, but it went through, and the Chiefs won this game. Awesome stuff from Harrison. I'm also so happy for him.
23-20. Chiefs are the AFC champions, headed to where they ended the season. We'll get to that in a minute, to Glendale, Arizona. But the rookies here, especially on defense. The Chiefs actually tied an all-time NFL championship game record by playing this many rookies, 8 of them in special teams and defense, and then Sky Moore and Pacheco playing on offense. That's 10 if you're keeping track at home and you throw in Jack Cochran.
But the plays they made on defense, Brian Cook with the deflection, intercepted by Joshua Williams. Jalen Watson's interception up against one of the elite offenses in this league.
And I'll go through one sequence here that will be forgotten. It was at the end of the first half. Jalen Watson, Jamar Chase, or T. Higgins catches a 21-yard pass on Jalen Watson, but the clock is ticking and the Bengals are out of timeouts. Jalen Watson makes sure that Higgins can't get out of bounds. It keeps him in bounds, right? The Bengals have to rush to the line because the clock is running out. They go right back at Jalen Watson to T. Higgins for a fade. He defends it, and the Bengals have to settle for a field goal there. They don't get a touchdown. When you win the game by 3 points, those points at the end of the half are pretty important. Amazing stuff from Jalen and all of our rookies here in this game. The moment wasn't too big from him, and now they're going to the Super Bowl. Actually,
they went back to the other side then on another fade before that field goal. Oh, yes. This is Rick Burkhalter. He is the reason we won this game.
Yes. That's not true.
Yes, it is.
That's
The
not
work
true.
you did on, I lose track of how many guys you had to get ready for this game.
Pat's the toughest guy I've ever worked with. Trav's he trusts us. It's great. Those guys are tough. But listen, we're going back to the show.
We're going, baby. And your old team. It's the Eagles.
That's who we're playing.
That's who we're playing.
All right, there's Miss Philippines.
I already saw Miss Philippines.
Congrats, Rick.
That is the Vice President for Sports Performance and Athletic Training, Rick Burkhalter. And seriously, and I love that Steve Mariucci mentioned him on national television this morning. He said that was the X factor. And you know what? He was. You and I were in constant text messaging for days about the injury position of this team. And that's let's go there next, because I'm glad he photobombed us here in the fact that there were so many guys that pushed through injury, starting with Patrick Mahomes. What he did might be the all-timer because it's not a big stat night, but the guts that he had to show to play this game and win this game.
Well, the funny thing is it kind of was a big stat night because he finished 29 of 43 for 326 yards and 2 touchdowns, with both of those touchdowns occurring on either third or fourth down.
On one leg.
On one leg. Patrick Mahomes suffered an ankle sprain 7 days ago. And all week long, everyone's saying, oh, he's going to be hobbled, right? He just goes out there and has an MVP performance and scrambles for a first down to get the Chiefs in field goal range. Patrick Mahomes is the MVP of this league, and we saw it here tonight.
Travis Kelce, Nick Bolton, I'm going to leave guys out here, fighting through and pushing through injuries. Didn't know if they would go. Juju Smith-Schuster, all of them gave it a shot. Anyway, the Chiefs get this victory. Stay tuned. We're going to have more in an AFC Championship celebration.
I didn't expect to be able to run very much, just from the way it felt. But the training staff, Julie, did a great job of getting me enough range and mobility that I was able to protect myself. And at the end of the game there, I had to run to get the first down, and it got us into field goal range. So credit to them. And then just trying to stay on it. And we have 2 more weeks, so we got to keep doing it.
Is there a point, though, you knew, you just sort of felt, hey, I'm going to get some things done?
Yeah, I tried to a couple times in the game where I was trying to get through spots that I usually could get through, and you could see that I didn't have that burst that I usually have. So I got the ball out of my hands quickly. I think you saw that, and I threw probably a few more checkdowns than I usually would throw, and relied on my teammates to make the plays happen, and that's what they did.
Patrick, there were a couple of
Patrick, when you on the play you're running left was the third down pass from the pole.
Yeah, it was. I think y'all saw it was. I said the stopping was going to be the hardest part, and obviously throwing it across your body, you have to plant that right leg and twist across it to throw. So that definitely didn't feel good. I think the worst one was when I fumbled. I tried to pick it up, and that was probably the worst tweak that I had during the game. But like I said, they got me close as they could to 100%, and then I just battled through, and I'll have a few more weeks to get it ready.
That fumble, you just kind of lost the handle.
Yeah, it wasn't. I was thinking that it was wide open. I was gonna throw it to Marquez. They blitzed, and so he was gonna be wide open, and just slipped right out of my hand. And obviously, I tried to pick it up, and wasn't able to do that. So luckily, it didn't cost us the game because it was a big moment in the game, and our defense stepped up and got some stops for us there at the end.
Patrick, you guys are really good at not letting the trash talk get back to the podium. Travis made it obvious that he had heard some of that. Just how inside the locker room is motivating between you guys to kind of gear up for this type of matchup?
Yeah, I think guys were probably the most pumped up I'd seen them going into a football game. A lot of trash talk coming from a lot of different places. I think no one picked us to win. If so, it was like 5% of people. And we think we've built up enough respect to have a chance to go out and win every game. So whenever you feel like you're the underdog, when you're playing at Arrowhead Stadium, it gets guys ready to go.
What was it in particular they said? Was it the Burrowhead stuff?
Yeah, I mean, you got Burrowhead. They beat us last time. They were talking about we got to play them. There was a lot of stuff. I mean, the mayor came at me, man. I mean, I understand he's the mayor of Cincinnati, so he has to think about something. But, I mean, it's something that you just got to play the football game and then let your play do the talking.
Patrick, when you tweaking it earlier, when you made that run, does that in the back of your mind at all? Like, I don't know if I can push off this way, I got to make this run? Or how did you process that as you went into that run?
Throughout the game, I think I just tried to do whatever I could to win. And obviously there was times where you could see that it wouldn't let me do what I wanted to, but I was able to do enough in that last play to get the first down and get myself out of bounds and try to give Harrison a chance to win. And obviously we got the flag when he pushed me pretty late there. Yeah, I was just trying to – the defense had gotten stops for us like the last 2 drives, and we had opportunities to get in field goal range, and we didn't. So I knew I was going to do whatever I could to get us in the field goal range, and then Harrison made the kick.
Just the trash talk aside, how significant was it to beat this team in the last couple of years?
Yeah, I mean, the way we've played the last couple games, I mean, you saw it was very similar to these last games where we get ahead and they come back and beat us, and that's a credit to them, man. They got a great team and great leaders over there. We felt like we needed to get this win. We wanted to play this team, and we got them at Arrowhead Stadium, and we were able to finish the job this time. And, I mean, the job's not finished for us. I mean, we got a chance to go up against a great football team in Philadelphia Eagles. And so we had to enjoy this for about a day and then get right back to it because I've been in the Super Bowl, man, and winning it's a lot better than losing it.
What did it mean to you guys, to you personally, legacy-wise, to your organization, to
Yeah, I would appreciate it way more. And I mean, I don't want to say that in a bad way. I think when I first got in the league, it all happened so fast. I won the MVP, I won the Super Bowl, and I thought that's just kind of how it went. You were going to play. I listened to what Coach Reid said, and that stuff happens. And now that I've dealt with failure, of losing the AFC Championship, losing the Super Bowl, I know how much hard work and daily grind that it takes. And so I'm just excited to get to that game with the teammates that I have here. And it's a lot of new teammates that haven't been in these Super Bowl games. And so let's bring them along and prepare them so that we can go out and put our best foot forward.
Patrick, what worked on the touchdown pass to MVS? What did you see sort of pre-snap? And I think MVS threw up his hand. I'm sure you probably saw that as well.
Yeah, no, it was he was kind of like the third progression in the read. We had a good protection going, and the offensive line gave me a lot of time. And so I wanted to look at Kelsey first, and they sent a double team to him. And then I reset back to the deep cross that we had, and the safety jumped that. And so both those safeties having to double team Travis and jumping that, I just tried to get back to it, and I saw that hand go up. He's like 6'5", and has those long arms. So he threw the hand up, and I couldn't really see in front of him, so I tried to throw a line drive to him, and he was able to make a big play for us and a big part of the game.
Patrick, you went into this game with about as many weapons as you've had in a long time, and then they just kept dropping as it went. What was it like to go through the game and look up and you got Marcus Kemp in the huddle and all that?
Yeah, it was a wild week, man. We got guys back. We lost guys. We had guys kind of questionable or whatever you want to say. And so I was proud of those guys and how they battled, man. Not everybody was feeling 100% out there, and they went out there and battled anyways. But let's try to get those guys back now we have the extra week, and hopefully we can get them back as many guys as possible. And the good thing about having a guy like Kemp is he was the guy I was throwing to in scout team and in training camp my first year here. So I've built up that trust in him and know he's going to be in the right spot. And every time he gets in, man, he seems like he made something good happen. So I was happy for him.
Last one.
Patrick, Fred Beach said people didn't realize how hurt you were. Your performance tonight adds to a great legacy. Where do you feel like this performance, in your opinion, fits in your legacy?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to comment on it. My goal is to win the Super Bowl. And obviously the AFC Championship is something that I'll forever remember, winning that Lamar Hunt trophy at Arrowhead Stadium. But to me, the job's not finished. I mean, all you can think about is how are you going to get better? I mean, this is a great football team that we're going up against. I think you've seen that the last few weeks and this whole entire season. And so I know I should take the best that we got. And that's going to take us preparing this next week and the next week after that to go out there and play our best football.
All right, thank you.
He is the best interior defensive lineman in the National Football League. Yeah, I got the stats to prove it. But this wasn't about stats. This was about guts. How much guts did you show and your defense show in this game?
I mean, the D-line played resilient tonight. Thanks to the back end, those guys stepped up. That's all we needed. Everybody to take it up a notch in this game. We knew it was going to be a tight game. Came down to a few critical plays, and we was able to make them and get off the field and get our offense a chance to score.
You never talked about, everybody's talking about no playoff sacks. You didn't say a word. your play. You get 2 sacks in this game. Walk us through the first one.
First off, I don't really care about playoff sacks. Everybody else do. They make it a big thing. I don't care about it because it's about what helps the team win. You know, if I'm fortunate enough to get a one-on-one and beat him, then that's okay. But, you know, everybody make this big thing. They make it bigger than what it is. I got more rings than sacks, you know what I mean? So it's okay. The first sack, I got a one-on-one, and I just double-hand swiped him and beat in there. And the last play of their drive, I switched Carlos at the last minute because I seen they had a tight end on the line of scrimmage. They showed me that look earlier in the game, and they both came down on me to tackle in the guard. So I knew that either I was going to have a one-on-one with the tight end, most likely, or the tight end was going out, and I was going to have a one-on-one with the tackle, and I just took advantage of that.
And how did Los react when you go, hey, I'm going out here, you go inside?
He didn't want to go inside. He didn't want to go inside, but thanks to Carlos, I was able to get there, and we both walked out the field happy.
But how good is it for him, the fact that he beats a team he played with? He didn't have a playoff win until last week. Now he's going to the Super Bowl.
That's a Cinderella story, man, for him. And for us as a team organization, I think it's a full 360. We lost to them last year in the playoff. Moments like that, we couldn't get off the field. I had him wrapped up. He got away, third down. They went down and kicked the field goal. And I'm so thankful for God for blessing me with this opportunity again. Same moment, same type of pressure, and I was able to answer that.
Final question. How much on that final drive were you going, not this time?
Oh, the whole drive. Not this time, baby. You know, a couple players were a little frustrated. I got a huddle. Told everybody we depend on everybody here. No heads down. We're going to make sure we lean on each other because we're going to need each other in this drive. Whatever happened in the beginning of the game, it's okay. Throw it out. And the opportunity presented itself again, and we needed to get off the field, and I was able to get there.
It started in mandatory minicamp. It was every day at camp. It has been every week this year. Awesome job, my friend. You're going back to the Super Bowl.
We're back, baby. We're back.
Chris Jones, phenomenal game. All right, folks, the Chiefs are AFC champions, 3rd time in 4 seasons, going back to Glendale, Arizona. Matt, the special teams in this game, we can overlook Tommy Townsend's punts. Think about the last punt to pin him back. I mean, these are big-time plays by special teams.
It was the biggest moment of the season. There's like 2 minutes left on the clock, and we're relying on our defense in that moment to get a stop. But first, you're relying on Tommy to pin them deep because a field goal wins the game, and you might not have any time on the clock when you get the ball back. Just total reliance in Tommy. He's been so consistent all year long, and he was consistent yet again here tonight.
And going back to where the season began, you and I talked about it. We're going to go back there. We're going back.
We're going back. Again, just the way this team bottled up the frustration and disappointment from last year is so inspiring. To use it as fuel to get back to this moment, to go to Glendale, Arizona, and to hopefully win another Lombardi trophy. But for this moment, to bring the Lamar Hunt trophy home is just incredible. Enjoy this, Chiefs Kingdom. You've earned it.
And I'll say this, I'm going to close out this segment the way I closed out the radio and what I said in St. Joseph, Missouri before the first day of practice. You can dislike the Chiefs, you can disrespect the Chiefs, you can doubt the Chiefs. But you're going to have to deal with the Chiefs as champions of the AFC and trying to go after another Lombardi trophy. He's Matt McMullen. I'm Mitch Holthus. For 2 weeks, we're going to get you ready for the Eagles and the Chiefs.
Chiefs Rewind is brought to you by Ford, the official car and truck of the Kansas City Chiefs, and by Community America Credit Union, the official banking partner of the Kansas City Chiefs.